way we define politics, is it similar if the way it was defined earlier? Define, preferably go into its how politics was understood in ancient Greek time. State used to come in the sphere. All those activities which came under the state. Okay? So anything dealing with the state used to come in the sphere of politics. Now every term develops, every activity develops. So we should also know how politics was understood in ancient Greek time and how do we understand at present. Okay? So what is politics? If something is asked to define, preferably go into its etymological origin. Then look into the evolution of the term. Whether the way we define politics, is it similar if the way it was defined earlier. So how this particular term has evolved. So basically politics is what related to state. So we have to see what is the scope of the activities of the state. Fine. So normally the traditional view is like human life, our life. We have two spheres. One is our personal matters and one is our common or public matters. So human life can be categorized into personal sphere and public sphere. Public sphere is your collective sphere. When you come in contact with other humans, and personal is, what is personal? Which deals only with you is personal. Is family, whether family, where do you put family? Personal or public? Family is personal. Right? So let us say, let's talk about two individuals, husband and wife making a family. So there is no politics in family. There is a politics in family also. So should we negate personal sphere from study of politics? No. Fine. So the earlier scholars, when they talked about politics or they studied about politics, they confined themselves only to the public sphere. But there is no fundamental or there is no dividing line or wall of separation between personal and public. Fine. So whatever is personal is also public now. Fine. So whatever matters to family, there was a time when the state was not intervening in family matters. But presently that is not the case. Fine. So now family laws, personal laws, they also come within the periphery of the state. It means the wall between the personal and political, which was once there, is not present. It means the scope of politics and what is to be studied in political science, it has increased. पहले सोशियोलॉजी में फैमिली पढ़ते थे, लेकिन अभी पॉलिटिक्स में भी वी आर स्टडीइंग फैमिली. Is this one clear? Right. Towards the last line you wrote. Under the state. Underline करो activities coming under the state. What term you can use for it? Governance. Activities coming under the state, we call it as governance. Hence, scholars like Gardner. How you can use for it? Governance. Activities coming under the state, we call it as government. Governance. Activities, right? Towards the last line you wrote. Under the state. Underline for activities coming under the state. What term you can use for it? Governance. Activities coming under the state, we call it as governance. Right? Hence, scholars like Gardner described. Right? Hence, scholars like Gardner described political science as like Gardner described political science as a study of state, as a study of state. अब लिखते हैं उनके वर्ड्स में. In the words of Gardner, political science begins and ends with the state. अब लिखते हैं उनके वर्ड्स में. In the words of Gardner, political science begins and ends state. Political science begins as a study of state. अब लिखते हैं उनके वर्ड्स में. In the words of Garner, political science begins and ends with the state. Begins and ends with the state. What is the subject matter of political science in one word? Study of state. So politics. What is the subject matter of political science in one word? And ends with the state. Begins and ends with the state. What is the subject matter of political science in one word? Study of state. So political science begins and ends with the state. Some people focus on the functions of the state. I told you function of the state is governance. So some people define political science as the study of state and government. It is up to you want to remember the statement or not, but Garner's statement can be used at different places. So I'm giving you one more view. Like similarly, Gettle, another scholar, Gettle, described political science as the study of state and government. Political science as the study, Gettle, another scholar, Gettle, described political science as the study of state and government. Now, like, what comes under state? State and government. Now, like, what comes under state or government? Government. Political science as the study of state and government. Now, like, what comes under state or government? Okay. So for that we have to take our evolutionary view. Okay, right? Right. We require our evolutionary view with respect to the scope of activities, which come under the state. स्कोप ऑफ एक्टिविटीज विच कम अंडर द स्टेट. स्टेट में क्या क्या चीजें आती हैं, हमारे सब्जेक्ट में क्या क्या चीजें हम पढ़ेंगे. ठीक है, तो वी हैव टू टेक अ इवोल्यूशनरी व्यू इन द स्कोप ऑफ एक्टिविटीज विच कम अंडर द स्टेट. स्कोप ऑफ एक्टिविटीज विच कम अंडर द स्टेट. स्टेट में क्या क्या चीजें आती हैं, हमारे सब्जेक्ट में क्या क्या चीजें हम पढ़ेंगे. ठीक है, तो वी हैव टू टेक अ इवोल्यूशनरी व्यू. तो फर्स्ट यू राइट कन्वेंशनल व्यू और ट्रेडिशनल व्यू. Conventional or traditional view. So traditional view is primarily associated with Aristotle. This conventional view starts in the conventional or traditional view. So traditional view is primarily associated with Aristotle. This conventional view starts with Aristotle. So why we start with Aristotle? Right. Conventional view starts with Aristotle. Why we start with Aristotle? Right. Because he is known as father of political science. Okay, so you start with the father and how originator has started. So we start studying with the father of political science and how he defined political science. Right. So what Aristotle does, Aristotle makes a separation between the personal sphere and public sphere. So in Western thought, we will see Plato, and Plato has brought family under the state. In Plato's book, you will find that state controls family, state controls marriage, state decides who will marry whom. So family was brought under the state. And Aristotle is known as the greatest disciple of Plato as well as the greatest critic of Plato. So one of the reasons Aristotle has criticized Plato is Plato had brought family matters under the sphere of state. So what Aristotle does, Aristotle makes a separation between family does not come under the state. And who comes under the family? So in his family comes the master. Who is master? When is the master? Then the wife, then the children and slaves. So he does not give representation to women in public sphere. He even does not regard women as citizens. Okay? So because of Aristotle, in Western philosophy, we see that women are out of political philosophy. Okay? So Western tradition has two traditions. One is called classical tradition and the other is contemporary tradition. Contemporary tradition starts after Second World War. So classical tradition from Plato till Marx or of course in modern times you can say Lenin and all, or primarily Plato to Marx. Now in classical tradition, women are absent. Okay? So the classical tradition of political philosophy is called as a masculinist tradition. And from 50s onwards, feminist perspective also started coming into picture. And so feminists, one famous slogan of feminists is personal is political. Means they have ended this belief that there is no politics in family or family should be kept out of the purview of the state, and they insisted that state has to talk about family, state has to talk about the status of women in family. So now we take a more extended view of the activities that come under the state. So if you study from classical point of view, state will cover personal sphere? No. But if you study from contemporary point of view, state will cover personal sphere. Fine. So in India, one major debate is ongoing. Today itself, I think there is an article by Faizan Mustafa on UCC. So the idea is, should Indian state be intervening in the family to change the family laws or not? So you know why this problem comes in India? Why this problem does not come in US or West? Because we are yet not a fully modern societies. We are still traditional societies. So tradition and modernity coexist. So these questions are not clearly defined. Right? So India aims to become modern society. We aim to have uniform civil code. But we realized that India is yet not modern. People will yet not understand why state should interfere in family. So we kept uniform civil code outside the sphere of the state, and in the constitution we kept it under directive principles and not under the binding arrangement. Right? So in modern times, the crux of the matter is that if you define politics traditionally, you go for separation. But if you explain from contemporary point of view, you reject the view of separation, and it is based on the belief that personal is political. So a evolutionary view was needed. आज के टाइम में कोई एरिस्टोटल की डेफिनेशन बताएगा तो will it be adequate? No. तो आपको क्या लेना है? Evolutionary view. Have you understood this? So the conventional view starts with Aristotle. Why Aristotle matters? Because he is treated as father of political science. And what he did, Aristotle made a separation between personal and political. So for Aristotle, family matters will not come under the state. But now that is not the way we define. आगे आपको समझ में? तो अब हम लिखते हैं Aristotle and what he did. ठीक है? तो right. Aristotle as a father of political science made separation between personal and political. Aristotle, as a father of political science, made separation between personal and political. Okay, by which he kept personal sphere, personal, as a father of political science, made separation between personal and political. Okay, by which he kept personal sphere out of the purview of PURVIEW. But he kept personal sphere, personal and political. Okay, by which he kept personal sphere out of the purview of PURVIEW, purview of the state. ठीक है? Out of the purview of PURVIEW, purview of the state. ठीक है? Now why he kept etc. You can just write. It is to be noted that Plato, who is regarded as, ठीक है? Now why he kept etc. You can just write. It is to be noted that Plato, who is regarded as father of political philosophy, and also the teacher of Aristotle. Keats' family, and also the teacher of Aristotle. Plato, who is regarded as father of political philosophy, and also the teacher of Aristotle. Keats' family, marriage, and other personal matters under the sphere of state. Family, and also the teacher of Aristotle. Keats' family, marriage, and other personal matters under the sphere of state. Family, marriage, and other personal matters under the sphere of state. Sphere of state. Is Plato's view matching to the contemporary view? Other personal matters under the sphere of state. Sphere of state. Is Plato's view matching to the contemporary view? Okay. Plato kept all these things under the state. Now write Aristotle, who is not only regarded to the contemporary view. Okay. Plato kept all these things under the state. Now write Aristotle under the sphere of state. Sphere of state. Is Plato's view matching to the contemporary view? Okay. Plato kept all these things under the state. Now write Aristotle, who is not only regarded as the greatest disciple. Okay. Plato kept all these things under the state. Now write Aristotle, who is not only regarded as the greatest disciple of Plato, but also the greatest critic of Plato, but the greatest disciple of Plato, who is not only regarded as the greatest disciple of Plato, but also the greatest critic of Plato, has been, but also the greatest critic of Plato, has been extremely critical of the way Platocal of the way of Plato, has been extremely critical of the way Plato has defined political. What comes in Plato's political sphere? Personal also comes. So इसको लेकर के is very very critical. Fine, right? Hence Plato has defined political. What comes in Plato's political sphere? Personal also comes. So इसको लेकर के is very very critical. Fine, right? Hence Aristotle very categorically, मतलब very clearly, very categorically separated personal and political. ठीक है? तो लोगों ने फादर किसको माना? प्लेटो को कि एरिस्टोटल. इंपॉर्टेंस किसको लगाई? एरिस्टोटल का. उसी को ट्रेडिशन को पर्सनल एंड पॉलिटिकल. ठीक है? तो लोगों ने फादर किसको माना? प्लेटो को कि एरिस्टोटल. इंपॉर्टेंस किसको लगाई? एरिस्टोटल का. उसी को ट्रेडिशन को फॉलो किया गया. ठीक है? तो आप इसमें लिखते हैं राइट एरिस्टोटल्स इन्फ्लुएंस. एरिस्टोटल्स इन्फ्लुएंस remained intact among the philosophers Aristotle's influence remained intact among the philosophers of classical tradition. Remained intact among the philosophers of classical tradition. ठीक है, क्लासिकल ट्रेडिशन कब तक है? टिल सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर, या ऐसा थिंकर हम कहेंगे टिल मार्क्स. ठीक है, क्लासिकल ट्रेडिशन टिल कार्ल मार्क्स. ठीक है, राइट. नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ. हेंस अमंग, ठीक है, क्लासिकल ट्रेडिशन कब तक है? टिल सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर, या ऐसा थिंकर हम कहेंगे टिल मार्क्स. ठीक है, क्लासिकल ट्रेडिशन टिल कार्ल मार्क्स. ठीक है, राइट. नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ. हेंस among all disciplines, political science in general, and the classical tradition in particular, political science in general, okay, right. Next paragraph. Hence, among all disciplines, political science in general, and the classical tradition in particular is the classical tradition in particular is considered as, and the classical tradition in particular is considered as the most masculinist discipline. Underline करो most masculinist, most particular, and the classical tradition in particular is considered as the most masculinist discipline. Underline करो most masculinist discipline. देखो right, white is sexual, white. Right, because in entire classical political philosophy, with the exception of, because in entire, underline करो most masculinist discipline. देखो right, white is sexual, white. Right, because in entire classical political philosophy, with the exception of Plato and J.S. Mill, John Stuart Mill, we do not find, with the exception of entire classical political philosophy, with the exception of Plato and J.S. Mill, John Stuart Mill, we do not find exception of Plato and J.S. Mill, John Stuart Mill, we do not find philosophers writing from perspective of women. Okay? So nothing is being evaluated from women point of view. Let us say I talk about tradition of triple talaq. So it has been continuing, but whether that was rationally evaluated from. Okay? So nothing is being philosophers writing from perspective of women. Okay? So nothing is being evaluated from women point of view. Let us say I talk about tradition of triple talaq. So it has been continuing, but whether that was rationally evaluated from women point of view, no, right? So neither state, nor governments, nor public policy were evaluated from women point of view. So women perspective has been missing. So decision में women perspective खाली नहीं. There is one scholar which we will study in feminism that she says that where are the women? Like women are invisible in political science. Women perspective नहीं है. Now what happens when perspective of women is missing? So when you study political science and the classical theories, they will only be discussing man by nature is political animal. Always the term man will be used, right? So woman is taken for granted, and the language of the subject is also masculinist. Theories are written from the perspective of men. Have you understood this? इसका impact क्या हो गया? Impact happens that people felt that politics is the sphere where women should not be there, or it is not a matter that is belonging to women. What happened is women became invisible from the political sphere. Even if you talk about the heads of the states and heads of the governments, hardly you will find women being the heads of the state or governments in comparison to the men. Means the percentage of women in politics is very, very limited. Now what happens? Women absent from politics. And what politics does, it deals with decision making. It means the absence of women perspective in public policies and laws. We had a tradition of laws related to rape, custody of children, and many other things. And most of the laws were not favorable to women. Why? Because women were absent. Have you understood this? So, absence of women in philosophy is directly linked to the marginalization of women in society. So, how feminism has emerged? Feminism has emerged to address this marginalization. And when we addressed women marginalization, we have also realized that only women are not marginalized. Even the transgender community is also marginalized. At least women is present in public sphere. Transgenders are not even visible. The laws were such that it was not possible even to reveal the identity. So they are also missing. When they are missing from decision making, then the laws will be reflecting their perspective. No. So we have laws like Section 377 and these type of things. So what happens if someone goes out of philosophy, then that thing also goes out of policy. And this results into marginalization. If you talk about West, if you talk about India, you can add one more layer, and that is the layer of caste. Fine. So members of Dalit community were excluded, so their perspective has been missing. So now you need to bring these perspectives also. Have you understood this? So अभी हम West की बात करेंगे तो we will not talk about caste and other things, but when we talk about India, we have to talk about these things. ठीक है? But पहले जैसे अभी बिल्कुल recently transgenders and LGBT ये सब movement अभी limelight में आ गए, लेकिन still 90s women movements were in the limelight. So political science was being redefined in light of the women perspectives that was there. Fine. So what was the last line you wrote? Missing. तो अब देखो what was the impact? Right. Absence in philosophy means absence in public policy. Full stop. Right. Absence of women in public sphere, in philosophy, right? Absence in philosophy. What the women perspective that was there. Fine. So what was the last line you wrote? Missing. So अब देखो what was the impact? Right. Absence in philosophy means absence in absence in philosophy means absence in public policy. Full stop. Right. Absence of women in public sphere and decision. Full stop. Right. Absence of women in public sphere and decision making institutions and in public sphere and decision making institutions led to the marginalization of women, not just in public sphere, and decision making institutions led to the marginalization of women, not just in public sphere, but also in marginalization of women, not just in public sphere, but also in personal sphere, but also in personal sphere. वुमेन का से नहीं था, प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं है पब्लिक में, तो क्या पर्सनल स्फीयर में वुमेन का स्टेटस? बट ऑल्सो इन पर्सनल स्फीयर, बट ऑल्सो इन पर्सनल स्फीयर. वुमेन का से नहीं था, प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं है पब्लिक में, तो क्या पर्सनल स्फीयर में वुमेन का स्टेटस सही था? वुमेन का से नहीं था, प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं है पब्लिक में, नॉट जस्ट इन पब्लिक स्फीयर, बट ऑल्सो इन पर्सनल स्फीयर, बट ऑल्सो इन पर्सनल स्फीयर. वुमेन का से नहीं था, प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं है पब्लिक में, तो क्या पर्सनल स्फीयर में वुमेन का स्टेटस सही था? नहीं था. नॉट जस्ट इन पब्लिक स्फीयर, बट ऑल्सो इन पर्सनल स्फीयर, बट ऑल्सो इन पर्सनल स्फीयर. वुमेन का से नहीं था, प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं है पब्लिक में, तो क्या पर्सनल स्फीयर में वुमेन का स्टेटस सही था? नहीं था. तो इसका केस है, इसका लिंकिंग समझा गया और पॉलिटिक्स को, पॉलिटिकल साइंस को और स्टेट की एक्टिविटीज को रीडिफाइन किया गया. ओके, यस, या वेयर आर हो गया क्वेश्चन? ओके, ये आपको समझ में आ रहा है? तो आउट ऑफ साइट गोज आउट ऑफ माइंड. तो वुमेन वेयर इन साइट इन पब्लिक स्फीयर? नो. तो व्हाट वुमेन एक्सप्लॉइटेशन वाज इन द माइंड ऑफ पॉलिसी मेकर्स? नो. ठीक है, तो व्हाट एफर्ट हैज बीन डन to bring the women also, bring visibility of women in theory, in philosophy, and therefore in public policy. So that's why you see the new concepts came, gender-based budgeting, gender empowerment measures, and other things. And there is a direct connection between the philosophy and the policies which come into practice. Okay? So it resulted into their marginalization, right? In both. So now, contemporary view, right? Contemporary view of politics. Yes. Considered as modern, as he did not, and the policies which come into practice. Okay? So it resulted into their marginalization, right? In both. So now, contemporary view, right? Contemporary view of politics. Yes.
So Plato's view were considered as modern, as he did not separate the personal views, personal sphere from
But
state.
you can't decide someone on the basis of one feature.
Does he consider?
So now, contemporary view, right? Contemporary view of politics. Yes.
So Plato's view were considered as modern, as he did not separate the personal views, personal sphere from
But
state.
you can't decide someone on the basis of one feature.
Does he consider women at that point in time?
He considered women at par with men. He does not exclude women. So वो feminist है.
He can be considered as modern.
Plato as women.
Plato as modern thought process.
Plato as modern क्यों बोलना है? Plato as feminist बोल सकते हैं. या you can say Plato's perspective on women. Modern भी नहीं आप बोलेंगे, contemporary बोलेंगे. Modern तो मार्क्स पास है. Modern टाइम में भी नहीं बात की गई. तो contemporary बोलिए. आज का समय modern नहीं. Modern age is over with Second World War. ठीक है? तो now we live in post modern. और better है call it as a contemporary era. Yes.
Anybody who supports women empowerment is he a feminist?
Yes, because that is the purpose of feminism. And that's why, which type of organization is UPSC? UPSC?
But till now, I was like what I've heard is feminism, but feminism is a negative thing. Means like they're very extreme.
No, so I say whatever you have heard, first of all, unlearn everything. Okay? And start learning the right thing. Okay? So only women are not feminists. Men are also feminists. Only women should not be feminists. Men should also be feminists. Feminism. Feminism is difficult, but simplistically speaking, talking about equality. And you know who is the best example of feminism among men? What? Raja Ram Mohan Roy? No, Gandhi. Okay? What made Gandhi great? What was Gandhi's method of struggle? Gandhi is a best example of the superiority of the feminist methods of struggle. Feminism को सबसे ज़्यादा adopt किया गांधी ने. Raja Ram Mohan Roy did for improvement of women, but Gandhi became like women. गांधी ने सूट उतार के क्या पहनना चालू किया? धोती. किससे रिलेट करते हैं आप? मेन से कि वुमेन से? साड़ी किससे रिलेट करते हैं? वुमेन से. तो साड़ी का जेंडर है, कपड़े का जेंडर है. ठीक है? कपड़े का जेंडर है कि नहीं? है ना? साड़ी तो वुमेन मतलब नॉर्मली लोग कैसा समझते हैं? हैं? साड़ी है? स्त्री है? स्त्री है, हाँ? यस. तो अभी पहले सुनो. तो गांधी कौन थे? गांधी फेमिनिस्ट हैं. या गांधी खुद फेमिनिस्ट मतलब वो बेस्ट एग्जांपल है. कोई और बेटर एग्जांपल इंडिया में फेमिनिज्म का है नहीं अदर देन गांधी. ठीक है? तो गांधीज मेथड्स ऑफ स्ट्रगल वेयर फेमिनिस्ट. तो वुमेन को आप कैसे रिलेट करते हैं? विद वायलेंस और मेन को? वायलेंस इज रिलेटेड विद मेन. तो गांधी का स्ट्रेटेजी क्या था? नॉन वायलेंस. गांधी वॉज इन्फ्लुएंस्ड मोर बाई हिज मदर. ठीक है. और एनीथिंग दैट यू रिलेट विद वुमेन. तो गांधी का स्ट्रेटेजी कैसा था? वुमेन वाला था. ये समझ में आ रहा है? तो वुमेन स्ट्रेटेजी का बेस्ट एग्जांपल क्या है? गांधी इज फास्ट अनटू डेथ. ये फास्ट वास्ट कौन रखता है? वुमेन. तो गांधी क्या बात बात पे क्या कहते थे? मैं नहीं खाऊंगी, मैं ये नहीं करूंगी, मेरी बात मानो. ठीक है. तो यू कैन कॉल इट वुमेन टैंट्रम्स आल्सो. तो गांधी फाउंड दैट वुमेन मेथड्स जो हैं वो बेस्ट हैं. ठीक है. और ब्रिटिश को कैसे हराना है? इसी सब मेथड से हराना है. तो गांधी कुड वेरी स्ट्रेटेजिकली यूज. गांधी इज अ वेरी गुड सिंबल ऑफ फेमिनिज्म. आप धीरे धीरे वो समझ जाएंगे कि व्हाट इज द फेमिनिज्म हैज नथिंग टू डू विद बॉडी. ठीक है. फेमिनिज्म इज समथिंग अबाउट द वैल्यूज which you associate with women. So you associate with men reason and with women emotions. ऐसी मेडिकल साइंस का कहना है कि men का राइट पार्ट ऑफ ब्रेन डेवलप होता है, उससे रीजन होता है. वुमेन का लेफ्ट डेवलप होता है, उससे इमोशन होता है. तो एक डिबेट है. इन एथिक्स यू विल स्टडी द डिबेट बिटवीन रीजन वर्सेस इमोशन. एथिक्स ऑफ जस्टिस वर्सेस एथिक्स ऑफ केयर. एथिक्स ऑफ जस्टिस इज बेस्ड ऑन रीजनिंग और एथिक्स ऑफ केयर जो है वो फेमिनिन आइडिया ऑफ जस्टिस माना जाता है. जैसे तो गांधी वॉज नॉट गॉड कि वो अपना अप्रोच कभी खत्म ही नहीं करेंगे. और दुर्गा का भी तो रूप है. तो दुर्गा वाला भी रूप है. तो यही तो मिक्स है कि वी हैव स्टीरियोटाइप मेन वुमेन एंड दिस स्टीरियोटाइपिंग हैज टू गो. फाइन. सो एनीवे नाउ कम बैक टू इट्स व्यू.
Ma'am,
कंटेम्परेरी व्यू. क्या?
ma'am, what made them to exclude women?
है?
What made them to exclude women from the perspective of public sphere?
What made exclusion of women from public sphere? No, not necessarily. Aristotle had this view. We will see what and how women were excluded. So the very reason is then why war happens. War का reason भी क्या है? Masculinist qualities. तो feminism में ऐसे एक statement है. War या statement है men make war because war make men. ठीक है? तो if you want to prevent the world from war, you have to promote the feminine values, which is based on idea of care rather than idea of revenge, violence and other things. So we'll come back to all these things later. अभी ये खत्म करते हैं. अभी सारा discussion नहीं कर सकते. क्या?
Ma'am, like to talk about communism of wives. That basically it means that he treated women as goods. Then, ma'am, how can we say he is feminist?
No, you all have a lot of misconceptions. In values, which is based on idea of care rather than idea of revenge, violence and other things. So we'll come back to all these things later. अभी ये खत्म करते हैं. अभी सारा discussion नहीं कर सकते. क्या?
Ma'am, like to talk about communism of wives. That basically it means that he treated women as goods. Then, ma'am, how can we say he is feminist?
No, you all have a lot of misconceptions. First unlearn the things and go with how I am discussing. पहले एकदम अभी हम डेटों पे डिस्कस नहीं कर सकते हैं. अभी के लिए जितना चाहिए पहले उतना ही डिस्कस करना है. So now let us understand the contemporary view, how politics is defined, how the scope of political science is defined in present time. Contemporary view. ठीक है? तो right. In contemporary times, there is a considerable change. In politics is defined how the scope of political science is defined in present time. Contemporary view. ठीक है? तो right. In contemporary times, there is a considerable change in the way politics is understood. In times, there is a considerable change in the way politics is understood. Right. This change is attributed to. There is a considerable change in the way politics is understood. Right. This change is attributed to the emergence of feminist movement. Full stop. The emergence of is understood. Right. This change is attributed to the emergence of feminist movement. Full stop. Right. Right. Carol Harnish is attributed to the emergence of feminist movement. Full stop. Right. Right. Carol Harnish of feminist movement. Full stop. Right. Right. Carol Harnish feminist movement. Full stop, right? Like Carol Harnish. Carol Harnish gave the slogan. Like the slogan, inverted commas में, personal is political. What is political? So, her definition was personal is political. So, like the slogan, inverted commas में, personal is political. Carol Harnish gave the slogan. Like the slogan, inverted commas में, personal is political. What is political? So, her definition was personal is political. Which means that the boundaries between personal and public sphere are artificial. Boundaries between personal and public is artificial. Yes.
Personal. Is it only confined to the family sphere or does it have any other dimension?
पर्सनल स्फीयर की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं. पर्सनल में बाउंड्रीज बिटवीन पर्सनल एंड पब्लिक इज आर्टिफिशियल. यस.
Personal. Is it only confined to the family sphere or does it have any other dimension?
पर्सनल स्फीयर की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं. पर्सनल मींस व्हिच इज नॉट रिलेटेड टू अदर्स. जैसे मेरा पर्सनल स्पेस एंड पब्लिक स्फीयर आर आर्टिफिशियल. बाउंड्रीज बिटवीन पर्सनल एंड पब्लिक इज आर्टिफिशियल. यस.
Personal. Is it only confined to the family sphere or does it have any other dimension?
पर्सनल स्फीयर की. यस.
Personal. Is it only confined to the family sphere or does it have any other dimension?
पर्सनल स्फीयर की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं.
Personal. Is it only confined to the family sphere or does it have any other dimension?
पर्सनल स्फीयर की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं. पर्सनल मींस व्हिच इज नॉट रिलेटेड टू अदर्स. जैसे मेरा पर्सनल स्फीयर हो गया. आई वांट माय पर्सनल स्पेस. ठीक है. पर्सनल स्फीयर के प्रोटेक्शन के लिए यू रिक्वायर राइट्स टू प्राइवेसी. तो पहले ऐसा समझा जाता था कि फैमिली, चिल्ड्रन, डोमेस्टिक सर्वेंट्स दे कम अंडर पर्सनल स्फीयर एंड दे आर कंसर्न ऑफ द हेड ऑफ द फैमिली. बट आज डेफिनेशन चेंज हो गई है. आज पर्सनल में सिर्फ आपका टूथपेस्ट, टूथब्रश, सोप, टॉवल यही सब बचा है. ठीक है. वरना अब बच्चों का भी मैटर क्या है? स्टेट का मैटर है. वो कौन सी पिक्चर की गानी कर देगी? देखो ना कि चैटर्जी में सिर्फ बनर्जी और जो भी है ना, तो इंडिया में तो फिर भी कम है. लेकिन वेस्ट में आप कहें मेरा पर्सनल बच्चा है मैं इसकी पिटाई करूं तो ये आप नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है. मेरा पर्सनल डोमेस्टिक सर्वेंट है इसकी मैं पिटाई करूं आप नहीं कर सकते. या आप कहें मेरा पर्सनल हस्बैंड है, पर्सनल वाइफ है, मैं जो कुछ करूं अब आप वो नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है. तो आप पर्सनल कुछ नहीं रह गया. सिर्फ आपके कपड़े, आपका टूथपेस्ट, टूथब्रश, सोप हो गया. आई डोंट नो कुछ फैमिलीज में पर्सनल नहीं है या आप लोग अपने रूममेट्स का चुरा के यूज करते हो. आई डोंट नो. ठीक है. तो बस आप वही पर्सनल है. आपको पर्सनल. लेकिन पहले पर्सनल काफी बड़ा था. ठीक है. कि ये पर्सनल है. ये लाइक एवरी मैन्स हाउस यूज्ड टू बी हिज कैसल एंड स्टेट विल नॉट इंटरफियर बट नॉट नाउ. ठीक है. So what is the last line? So she says that these boundaries are artificial and actually there is no real boundaries. It is just an eyewash and impact or absence of women in public sphere is impacting their status in personal sphere. ठीक है. अभी को like hence she suggested and this correction eyewash and impact or absence of women in public sphere is impacting their status in personal sphere. ठीक है. अभी को like hence she suggested to end this war of separation. Was it a real war or a mental war? Mental है. हमको ऐसे बताया गया था, लेकिन real में separation नहीं था. Was it a real war or a mental war? Mental है. हमको ऐसे बताया गया था, लेकिन real में separation नहीं था, उल्टा exploitation था. तो she said we have to end this war of separation. Was it a real war or a mental war? मेंटल है. हमको ऐसे बताया गया था, लेकिन रियल में सेपरेशन नहीं था, उल्टा एक्सप्लॉइटेशन था. तो शी सेड वी हैव टू एंड दिस वॉर ऑफ सेपरेशन. फाइन. सो हेंस इन प्रेजेंट टाइम्स, देखो हेंस इन प्रेजेंट टाइम्स पर्सनल इज आल्सो दिस वॉर ऑफ सेपरेशन. फाइन. सो हेंस इन प्रेजेंट टाइम्स, देखो हेंस इन प्रेजेंट टाइम्स personal is also regarded as the part of public sphere. ठीक है. तो ऐसे अगर कंसेप्चुअली समझना है डिफरेंस इन पर्सनल एंड पब्लिक, ऐसे कोई क्वेश्चन. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस इन पर्सनल स्फीयर एंड पब्लिक स्फीयर? ठीक है. एज द पार्ट ऑफ पब्लिक स्फीयर. ठीक है. तो तो ऐसे अगर कंसेप्चुअली समझना है डिफरेंस इन पर्सनल एंड पब्लिक, ऐसे कोई क्वेश्चन, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस इन पर्सनल स्फीयर एंड पब्लिक स्फीयर? पब्लिक स्फीयर, ठीक है, तो ऐसे अगर कंसेप्चुअली समझना है डिफरेंस इन पर्सनल एंड पब्लिक, ऐसे कोई क्वेश्चन, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस इन पर्सनल स्फीयर एंड पब्लिक स्फीयर? तो पर्सनल मींस pertaining to oneself, pertaining to oneself, जिसका सिर्फ आपसे संबंध हो, pertaining to oneself, mean is the difference in personal sphere and public sphere. तो personal means pertaining to oneself, pertaining to oneself, जिसका सिर्फ आपसे संबंध हो, pertaining to oneself. बैंक अकाउंट क्या है? पर्सनल बैंक अकाउंट को भी ऐसे लगता है, ठीक है, कुछ नहीं है, ठीक है, आपकी बॉडी भी पर्सनल नहीं है, दैट्स व्हाई द डेटा प्राइवेसी लॉज आर रिक्वायर्ड, ठीक है, तो नथिंग इज पर्सनल एंड पर्सनल इज बीइंग इंट्रूडेड बाय द कमर्शियल फोर्सेस सो मच दैट नथिंग हैज रिमेन्ड पर्सनल, राइट? द ओनली थिंग दैट हैज रिमेन्ड पर्सनल और neglected by the state is the marginalization of women, transgenders, that were kept personal and the state kept a blind eye towards it. On the other hand, the commercial forces have reached so much in your personal domain. So the concept of personal will also change. What is personal? What knows? Right? So where is what camera? No one is personal now. Everything is public because of the surveillance, constant surveillance. Right? So it will not be so easy to define personal. That pertains to just yourself. ठीक है? That is your personal. आज से तुम ब्रश के अलावा मुझको कुछ समझ नहीं आया, ठीक है, मेरा पर्सनल सब गड़बड़ है ना, don't know, it comes even if you don't want those messages come, fine, and then if you block then with some other it will come, it will keep on coming. So personal, that's why state will have to go for regulation, ठीक है? तो what is personal? Pertaining to oneself, ठीक है, and what is public? देखो right, which what is public is right, which is which pertains to society at large, or what is collective, yeah, which pertains to society at large, or what is collective, right? Next paragraph. However, at present time, because of growth of information and communication technology, ICT, because what is collective, right? Next paragraph. However, at present time, because of growth of information and communication technology, ICT, because of growth of information and right. Next paragraph. However, at present time, because of growth of information and communication technology, ICT, because of growth of information and communication technology, information and communication technology, because of growth of information and communication technology, ICT, because of growth of information and communication technology, right? Everything has come out in public sphere. किसी ने कुछ पहन दिया तो चौड़ी हो जाती। Growth of information and communication technology, ICT, because of growth of information and communication technology, right? Everything has come out in communication technology, ICT, because of growth of information and communication technology, right? Everything has come out in public sphere. किसी ने कुछ पहन दिया तो चौड़ी हो जाती, ठीक है, तो आपका कपड़ा in public sphere, right? Everything has come out in public sphere. किसी ने कुछ पहन दिया तो चौड़ी हो जाती, ठीक है, तो आपका कपड़ा, कुछ भी, आपने क्या खाया, कुछ, nothing is personal, ठीक है, तो personal as well as public sphere. तो feminists played a role in ending this particular boundary. Yes.
This concept of personal in respect of women or caste led to the concept of marginalization.
Yes.
Can we say this, that marginalization?
Marginalization का मतलब क्या हुआ कि they became powerless. तो powerless कैसे बने जब power में थे ही नहीं? तो power में होने के लिए किसने होना होता है? एक में। अब इन्होंने कह दिया कि स्टेट पॉलिटिक्स वुमेन का क्षेत्र ही नहीं है, तो क्या हो गया, मार्जिनलाइज हो गया। इंडिया में ये भी बोल दिया एजुकेशन पॉलिटिक्स वुमेन दलित इन लोगों का क्षेत्र ही नहीं, तो कैसे, ऑब्वियसली मार्जिनलाइज, जिसको पावर से हटा दोगे वो मार्जिनलाइज हो जाएगा। तो आप क्षेत्र निर्धारित कर लीजिए कि दिस इज वुमेन स्फीयर, ये वुमेन का स्फीयर है, ये मेन का स्फीयर है, वुमेन का डोमेस्टिक वर्क है, मेन का आउटसाइड है, लेकिन आउटसाइड तो इन्फ्लुएंस कर रहा है, सेपरेशन तो है नहीं, तो अभी ये सब नहीं माना जाता है, ठीक है। तो आप जस्ट समझना है कि हाउ वी डिफाइन पॉलिटिक्स नाउ, ठीक है। अब देखो राइट, एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ इमर्जेंस ऑफ feminist perspective, we now, ठीक है। अब देखो राइट, as a result of emergence of feminist perspective, we take a broader view of politics. We take a broader view, emergence of feminist perspective. We take a broader view of politics or what comes under the state. Right now, given personal sphere or what comes under the scope, we take a broader view of politics or what comes under the state. We take a broader view of politics or what comes under the state. Right now, given personal sphere comes within the right now, given personal sphere comes within the purview of state. For example, once personal sphere comes within the purview of state. For example, once now given personal sphere come within the purview of state. अब इसका एग्जांपल दे सकते हैं, जैसे मान लो हिंदू पर्सनल लॉज थे, पहले स्टेट से गवर्न हो रहे थे या कल्चर से गवर्न हो रहे थे, कल्चर से मनुस्मृति से गवर्न हो रहे थे, लेकिन अभी कहाँ से गवर्न हो रहे हैं, पार्लियामेंट से, तो स्टेट के अंदर में आ गए, ठीक है। लिख सकते हैं फॉर एग्जांपल पर्सनल मैटर्स लाइक मैरिज, डाइवोर्स, एडॉप्शन, other succession, maintenance and all, comma, also come under divorce के अंदर में आ गए, ठीक है। लिख सकते हैं फॉर एग्जाम्पल पर्सनल मैटर्स लाइक मैरिज, डाइवोर्स, एडॉप्शन, other succession, maintenance and all, comma, also come under the scope of the state. ठीक है। तो now the study in political science you will go beyond state, right? So this is how you are defining of the state. ठीक है। तो now the study in political science you will go beyond state, right? So this is how you are defining political. तो political thought में केवल public sphere के मैटर नहीं, पर्सनल स्फीयर के भी मैटर इंक्लूड होंगे। इफ यू टॉक अबाउट यूनिवर्सिटी सिलेबस दे विल इंक्लूड स्कॉलर्स लाइक मैरी वोलस्टोनक्राफ्ट एंड अदर्स, तो इन यूपीएससी में सिलेबस में अभी वो स्कॉलर्स नहीं है, ठीक है। और यूपीएससी भी ऐसा इंस्टीट्यूशन कैसी है, फेमिनिस्ट है, ठीक है। हर पेपर में वुमेन पे क्वेश्चन रहता है कि नहीं रहता है, ठीक है। तो यूपीएससी इज आल्सो अ मेजर ऑफ वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट। हर साल टॉपर कौन बन जाता है, वुमेन, स्टोनक्राफ्ट एंड अदर्स, तो इन यूपीएससी में सिलेबस में अभी वो स्कॉलर्स नहीं है, ठीक है। और यूपीएससी भी ऐसा इंस्टीट्यूशन कैसी है, फेमिनिस्ट है, ठीक है। हर पेपर में वुमेन पे क्वेश्चन रहता है कि नहीं रहता है, ठीक है। तो यूपीएससी इज आल्सो अ मेजर ऑफ वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट। हर साल टॉपर कौन बन जाता है, वुमेन, ठीक है। तो यूपीएससी में आगे फर्स्ट 10 रैंक्स तो दे आर गोइंग टू रिजर्व फॉर वुमेन, बिकॉज़ यूपीएससी इज आल्सो एन इंस्टीट्यूशन फॉर सोशल जस्टिस। इट्स नॉट जस्ट बिकॉज़ इंडियन स्टेट इज अ वेलफेयर स्टेट, राइट? सो इवन यूपीएससी, all institutions of Indian state, they will have to keep welfare perspective in mind and what leads to empowerment, education, ठीक है। तो जब women in services, women in army, women in panchayats, women in positions of power, so this brings an attitudinal change in the society. So that is also being done with a purpose. एक पर्पस भी उसके अंदर है, क्यों? क्योंकि हमारा स्टेट कैसा है, वेलफेयर स्टेट है, ठीक है। तो जो लड़के हैं वो 10 के बाद की रैंक लेगी, सबने देखें क्यों इंडिया इज अ वेलफेयर स्टेट तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में वो रहेगा ठीक है यस
मैम जैसे कि आपने बताया कि यूपीएससी में या तो फेमिनिस्ट हो गया
हाँ।
जैसे यूपीएससी में क्वेश्चन फेमिनिस्ट
हाँ स्टेटी सबने देखें क्यों इंडिया इज अ वेलफेयर स्टेट तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में वो रहेगा ठीक है यस
मैम जैसे कि आपने बताया कि यूपीएससी में या तो फेमिनिस्ट हो गया
हाँ।
जैसे यूपीएससी में क्वेश्चन फेमिनिस्ट
हाँ
मतलब
फेमिनिस्ट आता है फेमिनिस्ट लिखना है फेमिनिस्ट लिखना है
तो एक ये होगा ना कि एक क्वेश्चन डाल के या 2 क्वेश्चन डाल के या 10 क्वेश्चन आएगा तब वो फेमिनिस्ट कहलाएगा
फेमिनिस्ट यूपीएससी फेमिनिस्ट है अगर आप रिजल्ट्स देखें अगर आप सिलेक्शन देखें और यूपीएससी का सिलेबस भी पढ़ें तो सिलेबस में भी जगह जगह लिखा है वी स्पेशली इनकरेज द गर्ल्स ठीक है उनके गैजेट में आप देखिए तो उसमें लिखा है वी आर इनकरेजिंग द गर्ल्स क्यों बिकॉज दिस ब्रिंग्स एन एटीट्यूडनल चेंज so there have been studies on impact of reservation of women in panchayats so the studies show this brings attitudinal change and parents are more inclined to send the girl child to the schools because they feel that because of reservation they may become in this position तो वो क्या है एक तरीके का एटीट्यूडनल चेंज लाने की कोशिश है इसीलिए हर पेपर में आपको वुमेन मूवमेंट वुमेन पर्सपेक्टिव या अगर आप इंडिया इज अ वेलफेयर स्टेट यू आर गोइंग टू जॉइन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इन इंडिया तो वेलफेयर स्टेट मींस यू विल हैव टू राइट फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ मार्जिनलाइज्ड सेक्शंस तो जो आपके कंक्लूजंस होंगे या जो आपके नॉर्मेटिव जजमेंट्स होंगे वो कहां जाने चाहिए टुवर्ड्स अपलिफ्टमेंट ऑफ द वल्नरेबल सेक्शंस ठीक है उसी लाइन में आपको लिखना होगा अपने आंसर्स चलें तो पॉलिटिकल समझ में आ गया कैसे हाउ विल यू डिफाइन व्हाट इज पॉलिटिकल so today the sphere of political is unlimited and there is no artificial boundary so personal is also political अगर आपसे कहें define political so conventionally political dealt only with public sphere but presently personal is also considered as political so the scope of state has become very very broad इतना आगे आपको समझ तो आप हमको समझना है concept thought what is thought why are we using the term thought ठीक है तो आप देखते हैं concept of thought and how thought political thought is how political thought differs from political theory ठीक है तो आप देखते हैं concept of thought and how thought political thought is how political thought differs from political theory political philosophy political ideology and political science political theory and how thought political thought is how political thought differs from political theory political philosophy political ideology and political science political philosophy political ideology and political science so we will understand thought later first of all let us understand what is political theory Pehले what is political theory what is the purpose of political theory what is theory theory क्या होती है and what is its purpose you know Newton's theory what is the purpose to explain something so what is theory theory is a tool of explanation so political theory will explain what politics what happens in politics why people behave in this way why states go for power अगर आपको why का आंसर चाहिए तो कहाँ मिलता है theory में ठीक है तो like any other theory called why to explain something so what is theory theory is a tool of explanation so political theory will explain what politics what happens in politics why people behave in this way why states go for power अगर आपको why का आंसर चाहिए तो कहाँ मिलता है theory में ठीक है तो like any other theory political theory aims at explanation of politics physics theory explanation of physical phenomena ठीक है तो how will you define political theory तो first define what is theory ठीक है तो लिखो right theory is a tool T-double-O-L tool of explanation ठीक है देखो every discipline has theories tool T-double-O-L tool of explanation ठीक है देखो every discipline has theories ठीक है right even in political science ठीक है देखो every discipline has theories ठीक है right even in political science we have theories tool T-double-O-L tool of explanation देखो every discipline has theories. Okay? Right. Even in political science, we have theories which aim at. Even in political science, we have theories which aim at explanation of political. Okay? Right. Even in political science, we have theories which aim at explanation of political phenomena. Which aim at explanation of political phenomena. It means without theory, it is not possible to understand anything. It means without theory, explanation of political phenomena. It means without theory, it is not possible to understand anything. So apple falls on the earth, everything falls. Without theory, it is not possible to understand anything. So apple falls on the earth, everything falls. Anything. So apple. It is not possible to understand anything. So apple falls on the earth, everything falls. Fall. लेकिन इसको पढ़ के क्या होगा? What you need to know? What is the cause? ठीक है? तो theory क्या करती है? Explanation. तो theory के बिना कोई चीज समझ में आती? नहीं. तो political theory will help in explanation of political phenomena. ठीक है? अब देखो types of theories. Types of theories in political science. Right? There are two types of theories. First, right, philosophical theories, or better ways, normative theories. Normative theories मतलब value-based theories. Value-based theories. Value-based. ठीक है? Theories, normative theories, theories. Right? There are two types of theories. First, right, philosophical theories, or better ways, normative theories. Normative theories मतलब value-based theories. Value-based theories. Value-based. Or better ways, normative theories. Normative theories मतलब value-based theories. Value-based theories. Value-based. ठीक है? For example, theory of justice, liberty, equality. You understand values? You have a value. You are a man of values. You have some values. You know values of a civil servant. तो values क्या होता है? Values देखते हैं? आप देख सकते हैं values? समझ सकते हैं? फील कर सकते हैं? ठीक है? तो value मतलब idea, justice, philosophy. Value means value judgments, right, wrong, normative ideas. This word you are not understanding in this. You are understanding all the words? ठीक है? Normative. Normative क्या होता है? Norms. Norms means what is desirable and what is not. What should be done, what should not be done. So there are certain theories which deal with these type of questions. So they are which type of theories? Normative theories. ठीक है? या philosophical theories. Okay? Just write philosophical theories are also called as political philosophy. You write much of the political theory is are also called as should not be done. So there are certain theories which deal with these type of questions. So they are which type of theories? Normative theories. ठीक है? या philosophical theories. Okay? Just write philosophical theories are also called as political philosophy. Right? Much of the political theory is much of the political theory are also called as political philosophy. Right? Much of the political theory is philosophical in nature. Political philosophy. Right? Much of the political theory is philosophical in nature. Much of the political theory is philosophical in nature. ठीक है? अब इतना सारा जो political theories है वो सब philosophy ही है primarily. तो you can actually in nature. Much of the political theory is philosophical in nature. ठीक है? अब इतना सारा जो political theories है वो सब philosophy ही है primarily. तो you can actually use the term political theory and political philosophy interchangeably. ठीक है? तो इसमें लिख सकते हैं since philosophical theories dominate the subject, we can use the term political theory, the subject, political theory and political philosophy interchangeably. ठीक है? तो इसमें लिख सकते हैं since philosophical theories dominate the subject, we can use the term political theory and political philosophy interchangeably. Philosophy interchangeably. We can use the term political theory and political philosophy interchangeably. In fact, political science as a subject is very philosophy interchangeably. In fact, political science as a subject is in fact, political science as a subject is very closely related to philosophy. It originated as a branch of philosophy to philosophy. It originated as a branch of philosophy. Philosophy is the mother discipline out of which political philosophy developed. Now, out of political science, another discipline, public administration, developed. ठीक है? तो philosophical nature और philosophy dominate करती है. That is why studying non-native political philosophy as a branch of philosophy. Because it originated as a branch to philosophy. Because it originated as a branch of philosophy. Philosophy is the mother discipline out of which political philosophy developed. Now, out of political science, another discipline, public administration, developed. ठीक है? तो philosophical nature और philosophy dominate करती है. That is why studying non-native political philosophy, what can be rather called ethics. तो ethics की theory और political science की theory एक ही है. Same theories you will study. और यहाँ पे अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे तो ethics का भी पेपर करने की जरूरत नहीं, क्योंकि ethics के टीचर ethics पढ़ा नहीं पाते, क्योंकि नहीं पढ़ा पाते, क्योंकि उनके पास political philosophy का अभाव है. तो आप सिर्फ ऐसे मैकेनिकली थ्योरी को नहीं समझ सकते. तो आपने ये पढ़ा मतलब एथिक्स आपका हो जाएगा अपने आप ही. ठीक है? और टीचर से अच्छा पढ़ा लोगे क्योंकि आपको कॉन्सेप्ट्स पता चल जाएंगे. तो डोमिनेटिंग कौन सी थ्योरीज है? फिलोसॉफिकल थ्योरीज. अब फर्स्ट सेट ऑफ थ्योरी कौन सी होगी? फिलोसॉफिकल थ्योरी. कैन बी कॉल्ड फिलोसॉफिकल थ्योरी एंड पॉलिटिकल फिलोसफी वन. यस, प्रैक्टिकली इसको एक कहा जाता है. ठीक है? अब सेकंड थ्योरीज लिखें. एम्पिरिकल थ्योरीज. फैक्ट बेस्ड. एम्पिरिकल थ्योरीज. fact-based, quantitative, like theories of voting behavior, election studies, empirical theories, fact-based, quantitative, like theories of voting behavior, election studies. Right, next paragraph. However, such theories are few in number. Theories of voting behavior, election studies. Right, next paragraph. However, such theories are few in number. ठीक है, hence देखो right, hence the dominant nature. Such theories are few in number. ठीक है, hence देखो right, hence the dominant nature of political science as a discipline is, ठीक है, hence देखो right, hence the dominant nature of political science as a discipline is philosophical. The dominant nature of political science as a discipline is philosophical and not scientific. ठीक है, तो नेचुरल साइंस में आप as a discipline is philosophical and not scientific. ठीक है, तो the dominant nature of political science as a discipline is philosophical and not scientific. ठीक है, तो नेचुरल साइंस में आप हैं कि ह्यूमैनिटीज में है ना, ह्यूमैनिटीज, तो हमारा सब्जेक्ट फिलोसॉफिकल एंड नॉट साइंटिफिक. ठीक है, तो नेचुरल साइंस में आप हैं कि ह्यूमैनिटीज में है ना, ह्यूमैनिटीज, तो हमारा सब्जेक्ट फिलोसॉफिकल ज्यादा है, साइंटिफिक कम है, साइंस से कम जुड़ा हुआ है. अगर हम देखें सोशियोलॉजी, तो सोशियोलॉजी इज मच साइंटिफिक, पॉलिटिक्स इज मोर फिलोसॉफिकल इन नेचर. ठीक है, अब एक क्वेश्चन लिखो राइट, व्हेन पॉलिटिकल साइंस, क्वेश्चन लिखो, व्हेन पॉलिटिकल साइंस इज predominantly philosophical, comma, while predominantly philosophical, comma, while discipline is called, right, when political science, question, when political science is predominantly philosophical, comma, while discipline is called political science. Philosophical, comma, while discipline is called political science. एक और क्वेश्चन लिखिए, is it appropriate to call political science science? ठीक है, जब सब comma, while discipline, when political science, question, when political science is predominantly philosophical, comma, while discipline, एक और क्वेश्चन लिखिए, is it appropriate to call political science, is it appropriate to call political science science? ठीक है, जब सब्जेक्ट ही फिलोसॉफिकल है तो साइंस शब्द क्यों यूज किया जा रहा है, और ये सारी चीजें आपसे इंटरव्यू में पूछी जाती है, बेसिक्स हैं आपके सब्जेक्ट. पॉलिटिकल साइंस साइंस, ठीक है। जब सब्जेक्ट ही फिलोसफिकल है तो साइंस शब्द क्यों यूज किया जा रहा है, और ये सारी चीजें आपसे इंटरव्यू में पूछी जाती है, बेसिक्स में आपके सब्जेक्ट के, और क्या इसे साइंस कहना सही है, ठीक है। तो वी विल फर्स्ट आंसर वेदर इज इट appropriate to use the term science for political science, ठीक है। इसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट में लिखो। So I am trying to answer this question whether it is appropriate to use the term science for political science, ठीक है। तो देखो राइट, in the words of Maitland, the name of one scholar Maitland, कॉमा करके लिखो इनका स्टेटमेंट, देखो राइट, when I see SEEC a question paper with the title Political Science, comma, I am more troubled. I see SEEC a question paper with the title Political Science, comma, I am more troubled with the title Political Science, comma, I am more troubled with the title than the questions asked. पॉलिटिकल साइंस का एग्जाम था, ठीक है, और ये इंसान किस चीज से परेशान, कॉमा, I am more troubled with the title than the questions asked. तो पॉलिटिकल साइंस का एग्जाम था, ठीक है, और ये इंसान किस चीज से परेशान है, क्वेश्चंस क्या पूछे गए वो इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं, ये टाइटल क्या है, ठीक है। तो उसने कहा आई एम मोर ट्रबल्ड, आई फियर मोर द टाइटल देन द क्वेश्चंस। क्वेश्चन तो बाद में करेंगे, पहले सब्जेक्ट का टाइटल तो सुधार में। तो किससे ज्यादा डर लगता है, अपर से कि क्लास से, हाँ दोनों से, तुम सही हो, ठीक है। तो ठीक है, तो वही है, क्वेश्चन से ज्यादा डर लग रहा है कि टाइटल से, ठीक है। तो दैट इज Maitland's view. So should political science be called science? But if someone asks this question, remember one formula. क्वेश्चन का आंसर क्या होता है, another question, ठीक है। Someone asks a question from you, you should not give answer, you should give another question. Let that person answer. This is politics, ठीक है। So learn politics, and you should know how to do politics with your examiner, with the interview board, with your friends, with everyone, with family. Learn politics. तो पॉलिटिक्स का सीधा रूल है, सीधे से नहीं जाना है, सीधा रास्ता इज नॉट पॉलिटिक्स, ठीक है। कुछ पॉलिटिक्स करके जाना है, ठीक है, कुछ घुमाना है। तो नो सक्सेसफुल पॉलिटिशियन विल एवर आंसर एनी क्वेश्चन, ठीक है। एंड यू शुड नो द पॉलिटिक्स दैट यू नेवर आंसर अ क्वेश्चन बट स्टिल पीपल वांट टू लिसन, ठीक है। तो क्वेश्चन आवर में तो कभी पार्लियामेंट में मिलो ही नहीं, यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस। और असली पॉलिटिशियन कौन होता है, जो क्वेश्चन का आंसर नहीं करता, जो अपनी मन की बात करता है। तो हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री आइडियल है समझने के लिए, भी अपनी समझ फिलोसोफर किंग एंड देयर इज लॉट यू कैन लर्न। तो आगे से इफ यू आर अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ पॉलिटिकल साइंस, नेवर गिव द डायरेक्ट आंसर। इफ यू विल गिव डायरेक्ट आंसर मींस यू आर नॉट अ स्कॉलर ऑफ पॉलिटिकल साइंस। तो आंसर सामने वाले को ढूंढते जाना है, और तुम्हें तुम्हारा पर्पस क्या है, टू कंफ्यूज द पर्सन, ठीक है। तो हाउ डू यू विन द डिबेट, हाउ इट इज विनिंग एंड लूजिंग, गेनिंग मार्क्स नॉट गेनिंग मार्क्स, यू डोंट गेट मार्क्स जस्ट बिकॉज यू राइट करेक्टली, इट इज ऑल अबाउट इंप्रेशन, ठीक है। तो सक्सेस इज व्हाट, परसेप्शन मैनेजमेंट, ठीक है। एग्जामिनर को आपको सिर्फ परसेप्शन देना है दैट यू नो, या आप एक बहुत बड़े फिलोसोफर और स्कॉलर हैं, आपको परसेप्शन ऐसा बनाना है। तो परसेप्शन अगर तुमने आंसर देते गए तो नहीं बनेगा, उल्टा ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछे जो सामने वाला क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है उसकी बोलती बंद हो जाए, ठीक है। तो दिस इज व्हाट इज पॉलिटिक्स, दिस इज व्हाट यू हैव टू लर्न, एंड नेवर गिव अ स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड आंसर। वी आर नॉट स्टडीइंग सोशियोलॉजी और सम अदर सब्जेक्ट। मैम आप क्या बनने वाले हैं, पॉलिटिक्स। पॉलिटिक्स में जाने के लिए आपको कैसा होना है, तो मैकियावेली सेड दैट अ प्रिंस शुड लर्न हाउ टू बी बैड रादर देन हाउ टू बी गुड। तो पॉलिटिकल साइंस का क्लास करके आप कैसे बनेंगे, बैड, ठीक है। तो आपको कोशिश करी जाएगी कि आप अच्छे इंसान से एक पॉलिटिशियन बन जाएं और समझ जाएं, ठीक है। बिकॉज इन रियल वर्ल्ड यू कांट बी गुड इन पॉलिटिक्स, जो एथिक्स में गुड है वो पॉलिटिक्स में बैड।
Ma'am,
यस,
as you said that UPSC is more towards feminist approach.
अभी को कह रहे हैं ग्रैब द अपॉर्चुनिटी, पहली 10 सीट आरक्षित हैं महिलाओं के लिए।
Ma'am, is it justiciable if the male person is much more deserving than female candidates? Still female gets
Yes, because you have to understand what is justice in India? तो इंडिया क्या है? स्टेट है. हर स्टेट एक अपने conception of justice पर based है. तो what conception of justice India is based on welfare state. तो welfare state does justice not the theory of justice based on welfare is not based on merit but also based on understanding the marginalized sections and their empowerment. Why this is justice? Because that is the idea behind the state in India. This may not be justice in USA but it is justice in India because our state is based on that idea of justice. Fine. So that's why Satyaprakash said all the best. So your journey to become a bad man starts from today. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.